I'm gonna start by trying to take a flake down here, see if I don't know if it'll clear because this little lip here, but I'm gonna find out. There we go. Okay, that crack seems to be holding clean. Just keep it moving. Next I'm going to do kind of a similar maneuver here. See what I can clear off there. There we go. Good flake there. Go ahead and prep this edge when I want it. What I'm doing is walking this angle so that when I hit this crest here, this angle's lower, so it's not going to dip out. That. Come on. There we go. Go ahead and try for this. See if I can take all this off in one fell swooping. Really get that. I want to bring this edge down a little bit. Little bladelet. But I feel like that's a far more viable angle. Too shallow. Good flake though. There we go. That did what I wanted it to. I'm going to switch to my moose billet, see how it goes for that. Just an angle right here because I just want to take this little area off. But I don't have much of a lip here for a strong... Actually, no. Ignore that instead. I'm going to do this. Really change up this edge angle. There we go. Gives a tiny bit of width. Give myself a much better platform. Will be worth it. There we go. So what I was hoping would happen was, with this, I'd be able to take this platform off, clear it even and flat. Just stop where I wanted it to. Another good flake for the pile. See what it becomes later on. Gonna try for this right here next. There we go. I actually did even more than I intended in a good way. I just wanted to take this here, probably about this much, but would have included a much bigger flake, which gives me a lot more opportunity for making it into something, and clears it off a lot better, creating that biface going. The shape I'm hoping for. There we go. Come on. It's just not wanting to travel the way I needed to. Alright, I'll pause on that little angle until I've changed it. There we go. Bit of a risky maneuver there. I wanted to clear this off to start opening this edge up, but it cleared the way I needed it to. Thank goodness. My back is getting a little tight. I'm bending over too much. There we go. Opened up that angle a little bit and started that zigzagging pattern. Broke up, but cleared this off here. Again, broke up, but cleared that there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this piece off here at the end. I've been leaving it alone, but I feel like it's time. Here we go. That's a good blade right there. That is useful on its own. I'm very surprised this crack is staying together, but I'm not going to complain. I'll take that with joy. There we go. Broke up kind of odd. That cleared off fine. Shaping out. Getting plenty of usable flakes off this too, which I always tell myself so that I don't get too sad if I break something, because it's all still useful. If that weren't the case, I would never go for anything even remotely large. This angle here is a little odd. That lip isn't great. I mean, unfortunately, braiding changed the edge angle pretty weirdly, but I think I can still clear it if I just strike it right here, support it correctly. There we go. I'm gonna have to do it again a little bit over the side, but it cleared off most of what I needed to. And it gives me confidence for that second strike. Stopped a little short, but that's fine. I can still, with the shape that I've got this edge here, I've still got this much to work this little shelf off, and that was a good arrowhead flake that I am happy to have in my possession. There we go. Broken half, but still good. It cleared off that edge there. I'm finally starting to get this flat edge to turn into a zigzag angle like I need it to get these flakes to travel like I want them. Well, that's a bit of a teaching experience. Okay, so that broke up all kinds of strange. Let's see if I can bring it back up onto the surface here. It came apart in one strike, but what I was hoping to clear off was probably just this flake here, but that came off, and then underneath there, this piece just burst up and left me with a much better edge angle to work from, which I am counting my blessings on. Alright. I'm going to try and take a strike that clears off this way using this lip, so I can take that much off, then come back the other way and do the same thing. Thought it might stop at that nub, that's why I was trying to knock it off before. There we go. That traveled long enough, sheared some of that off. didn't go as far as I wanted it to. Ooh, it's kind of a cool pattern, but this stuff's a bit chalky right in here, so who knows, maybe this will become a cutout knife and this chalky section will get bit out right here and I'll have a more of a sun in that area. But we will see what it tells me as I go. That worked out well. I'm going to try to take a strike this way, clear off some of this face. There we go. Cleared off exactly what I needed it to. You can see where that flake I kind of biffed earlier was. See, did I keep that? I don't know if I kept that. But had this piece come off here, wasn't what I needed it to do. But I was able to come from this side here, clear that off, and that's a good flake for an arrowhead. Into the pile it goes. I don't know how much daylight I have, but I think I can get this done this time. If I have to, I've got a spotlight thing I can use. I'm going to come back this way. Actually, no, I'm going to come back this way first. Take a strike this face, see how that travels. There we go. I have my fingertip right here. Stopped where I needed it to. It's another great flake. I'm so happy these are coming off in piece, in one piece. Good Lord, coming off intact or in one piece, because I can then use them for something other than just fancy chip gravel. I'm going to try a strike right here, see if I can't clear that off. Didn't go quite as far as I was hoping, but it's making progress for me. There we go. Again, it stopped kind of in that same spot, but it's making the tip as thin as I need it to be. That's unfortunate. Oh, I can keep working from that. Peppering this edge back, strengthen it up, make a better angle. It's not strong enough for the hammer stone. I'm going to reach over and grab something a little bit of a denser material. It's a little bit sturdier. There we go. There we go. Getting that stitch moving further down. Come back in the braid. There we go. At first I was trying to strike right here, and I realized it was just easier if I came from right here with the same intention. Took that flake. It's nice and thin. Good for carving. Now it's starting to take a thinner form, a little more bifacial. Sorry if that was loud when I bumped the mic. A little more bifacial. I'm not going to thin it too much out further from here, honestly, once I get these edges under control, because I want a good, sturdy knife I can use on wood and things. I've got some good ones, but not anything I want to contend with a full piece of wood with. So let's see what else I can get into the toolkit here. One there. That one broke up but cleared all the way across. Little chip out the end there. Now I'm going to come through with a big abrader and really kind of reset these edges because they've gotten pretty thin. And that is often where I start to mess up and lose a lot of material. Is I'll get right towards the end and I'll be too comfortable and I'll not quite abrade enough, and I'll get some small steps and hinges that I just can't seem to fix, and they'll eat away at the material. Well, I'll eat away at the material trying to fix them. There we go. Struck right here, cleared off to here, thinned this edge a good bit. Took one of the last little kind of thick chunks up towards the tip that I gotta work on, and then there's one more through here. Cleared off far enough for me. Just gotta. There we go. Ooh. Ooh, she's ringing. Okay. Alright, I'm going to try and take some strikes across here and even this tip out. There we go. There we go. That cleared far off. Didn't take this step with it, but it cleared off and even took a little extra for me there. Just gonna walk that edge just a little bit lower. Here we go. Good Lord. There we go. Cleared that off a bit. Not super confident about the strength of that platform, so I'm going to hold off on it a little longer until the rest of it's a little more in line with it. Making me too nervous. Let me come back around to this edge. Forgot to address the fact that I was going to use hard hammer percussion there. It just kind of felt right. Went for it and it did what I needed it to. I think it's going to open up a little bit of other flaking. There we go. Gotta finish up this kind of section here, get it addressed. That's kind of the last strike I gotta do right here. No, I need to do another one from this face first, I think, to make that overall profile of the biface the proper angle, or else I think it will collapse. It's a bit tight for that one, so I'm going to use this guy here. There we go. That platform is a little too tight for me to strike in with the full moose billet, so I use my little fallow billet here, which needs some touch-ups. And it was able to cover through this platform, and now that I have changed the angle of the overall profile for this flake here, this crest runs much cleaner in this angle to make it so it'll stay intact. Not the best at explaining this if you haven't caught on. There's a reason I don't usually talk. Ooh. Catch that. And there's that flake. Did what I needed it to do. Just gotta abrade and readdress the angle of this little square section here. I think you probably get the drill by this point. At least the general pattern of what I'm doing here. There we go. That one there. I don't even know quite where that came off. I think right here. It's getting hard to keep track of all these flake scars. There we go. I don't need full flakes going all the way across the face for this edge. I just need to readdress the angle of it, but I also don't want to cause it to be twisted by just changing the angle and not thinning it properly. So that's why I took those kind of semi-long flakes instead of just knocking that angle off with abrasion like I have been. A little bit of a hinge, but it's not really a huge deal with what I plan to do with this thing. I'm really just getting the final little shape worked out. Which also means right now is, of course, the funniest time for it to snap in half. Hinged a little bit. I've been getting nibbled on this whole time by mosquitoes, and they're finally really starting to bug me. So close to being done. Really tight angle. There's my smaller moose billet. There he is. There we go. Okay, I gotta readdress that with braiding here in a second. I'm gonna finish bringing the rest of this edge down before I do that. Got good clearance on a couple of those flakes. this hammer stone, it's a braiding stone, has a little bit of iron in it because it's sparking like crazy. There we go. Broke up, it's still cleared. Got that. Kind of gone quiet. I'm just kind of focused on getting this thing wrapped up before it gets too dark outside. There we go. Alright, I don't know how clear it's coming through on camera. That chalky section I was talking about before, it's chalky as ever, so I want to make that where my handle goes. Just kind of peppering back this edge. Yeah, just got a little bit of abrading and pressure flaking to do. I have a feeling the pressure flaking is going to be done by spotlight or headlight on the car, but I'm glad I got the general shape out of the way while it's still somewhat light out. Catch that. And I'm still happy that that tip includes that fault, even though it's causing a little bit of issue for me. It's nothing too crazy. Let me just keep peppering back that handle. Go ahead and use this chance to, there we go, do a little bit of extra thinning down on that handle. Keep it more slender, a little less bulky of a grip. There we go, that feels like a me-sized handle. I don't even need that much edge to this knife, but rather than trying to make it too much prettier and get rid of a lot of material, I think I'm just going to kind of shape up this general profile, get it sharpened, and get a wrap on the handle maybe. And you can pepper that edge in a little bit more. Alright, I think that's about where I'm going to cut this footage for now. It's the next day. Been waiting to finish this thing. I'm going to go through and finish it up. It is hot as could be, so I'm going to try and get it done before my phone or me overheats. One of the two. Here we go. So I don't want to actually sharpen the handle, obviously, because I want it to be a handle. But I do need to pressure flake it a little bit and even out the profile, make it smoother grip. Straighten up some of these edges that are a little wonky. Even some things out. Alright. First one I'm going to take is I'm going to be taking this one here. Hopefully it might clear some of the shelf. I don't think I'm going to be able to send that good of a pressure flake, but if I can, that would be awesome. Made it a good bit of the way. More than enough to satisfy what I'm trying to achieve here. this kind of wonky fella here, see if I can drive a good one where I want this edge to travel here. Yeah, that chalkier section is just going to stick around, which is fine. It's going to become my handle backing. This is my don't grip past here point now. Everything above it's going to be sharp. I think I already said this earlier on in the video, but just in case I didn't, I'm going to say it again. This is meant to be a bit robust of a blade. It's meant to be a bit of an everything blade. So sharp, you know, cut fine if I need to, but it also needs to be solid enough that I can kind of saw at some wood if I need to. Stuff of that nature. There we go. Traveling nicely. I'm about due to shape up a bigger long flaker again. Mine are getting kind of short and stubby. It's hard to generate too much leverage, but see how this feels. Yep, that's good. I wrap that up, and then it's kind of gonna have like a bit of a hinge here. It's just kind of the way it's shaping out. It's got that fault there, and you can even see that hinge is running in that fault. It just doesn't want to flake quite as well as its surrounding parts. That comes with the territory. Re-roll this hand pad. See, I was hoping I'd be able to get some flakes all the way across to here to clear this step off. It's just not wanting to go, but again, I can live with keeping it on.
Checking the battery percentage.
Cool.
Okay, 18. I couldn't remember if it had said 20 or 10% earlier.
Switch to this little guy here. All I'm wanting to do now is pepper a couple smaller flakes into these ridges that'll give it a bit more teeth. Sharpen it up nicely. I think I'll leave most of the back unsharpened. Give me a little room to kind of, if I have to choke up to here, I can. But I'll also sharpen up the tip so that it's able to puncture if needed. Clear off there. There we go. Pretty hefty, but that also means I can keep using it and readdress it a couple times. Doesn't look too curved to me. I was a little worried about that, but nah, I think it's fine. Alright, you can see that chalky patch there caused quite a few little hinges. You see one along that little stripe there, but everything else shaped out fine. Keep noticing one or two little extra spots to pepper on. But I am just about done with this thing. I'm gonna wrap the handle. I already have a bunch of leather strips cut, so I'm not gonna cut one for this. I'm just gonna go through and find one that fits. But I will show wrapping it up. Alright, we'll stop here, and I might cut, I might not, to when I've got this thing wrapped with this handle. Train is, I think it might have been a maintenance car, so shouldn't be too bad. Got a train track running behind me. This isn't exactly based on any particular shapes or anything, it's just good, sizable knife that'll serve me well, be repairable, reusable, reshapeable. I think this is probably pretty well in frame. I'm going to start by laying this strip in here about halfway across so that when I come around I can immediately apply pressure and grip that on. Run it like this. Just keep laying it. Slower and steadier the better, because the last thing you want is to be all sticky and wet with blood or sap or whatever, what have you sweat, and have the leather wrap that you put on not actually be very sturdy and slide off. It's not a fun thing to realize has happened. Yeah, flat back over that way. Go. And I'll bring it around one more time and actually loop it under itself. Oh, snapped off. That actually worked out perfectly. Broke right where I needed it to. And then what I'll do is put a little dollop of pitch right here. Kind of pin this little section down, and then got a nice good grip. Keep my hand from coming up. Nice and sharp. Let's see. Do I have any leather I can cut? Cut.